Hello everyone. The Middle East region has long been a hotspot for war and conflict. Recently, on October 7, 2023, this region once again captured the world's attention when Palestinian militant groups led by Hamas launched a large-scale attack from the Gaza Strip into Israel, calling it Operation Al-Aqsa Flood. It is also the first direct confrontation conflict within Israel's borders since 1948. The attack began early in the morning with a series of rockets targeting Israeli territory and some civilian settlements around the country's military bases. Approximately 4,000 rockets were launched by Hamas to overwhelm Israel's Iron Dome air defense. While rockets roared in the sky, Hamas militants breached the border fence and began one of the most terrifying attacks on Israeli territory in over 7 decades. This put Israel, known as an undefeated nation with a volunteer force, in a passive position and forced it to declare a state. But the country also immediately retaliated by shelling strategic buildings and military targets, including residential buildings, mosques, hospitals, and banks. According to some statistics, within just 3 days of fighting, at least 493 Palestinians were killed and over 2,000 injured, while Israel recorded over 900 deaths and 2,500 injuries. Given the complex developments in Israel and the Gaza Strip, the international community is striving to find solutions to prevent escalating violence. In a recent United Nations meeting, the Israeli ambassador accused the Hamas group of war crimes and declared the intention to completely eliminate this organization's terrorist infrastructure. Meanwhile, the Palestinian representative warned that Israel's attacks would yield no results and called on the international community not to encourage Israel to follow the path of violence. And true to the declaration, Israel activated the Iron Dome air defense system and deployed over 100,000 troops to blockade the Gaza. In just one night, the country attacked up to 426 targets, nearly flattening the count of big enemy. S video, LET. The world's largest Jewish army. The Israel Defense Forces, abbreviated as IDF or in Hebrew as Zahal, is the sole military wing of the Israeli security establishment. It includes the Israeli Ground Forces, Israeli Navy, and Israeli Air and Space Force. Currently, this force is led by a Chief of General Staff, who is subordinate to the Israeli Ministry of Defense. If General von Ren-Ja is considered the elder brother of the Vietnam People's Army, then David Ben-Gurion, the first Prime Minister of the State of Israel, is regarded as the one who issued the decree on May 26, 1948, to establish the Israel Defense Forces. Initially, this force served as a militia army tasked with defending against and countering the alliance between Arab and Palestine. To this day, the IDF's mission remains to protect Israeli territory, as well as to attack and deter extremist forces of Hamas and Palestine. As we presented above, the Israel Defense Forces are divided into 3 main branches: the Ground Forces, the Navy, and the Air and Space Force. Among them, the Ground Forces consist of 5 corps: the Infantry Corps, Armored Corps, Artillery Corps, Combat Engineering Corps, and Field Intelligence Corps. The Air and Space Force includes the Israeli Air Force and the Israeli Air Defense Command. And finally, the Israeli Navy. Additionally, the IDF is divided into 4 regional commands: the Northern Command, Central Command, Southern Command, and Home Front Command. Regarding military ranks, the Israel Defense Forces also have many differences. Notably, this force uses the same rank structure across all branches, including the air. If the highest rank in the Russian military is Marshal of the Russian Federation, in the Chinese military it is General of the Army of the People's Republic of China, and in the US military it is General of the Army, then the highest rank in the Israel. According to Global Firepower, Israel's total military personnel in 2023 is 646,000, including 173,000 active duty troops, 465,000 reservists, and only 8,000 paramilitary personnel, along with a defense budget of $24.3 billion. Also according to Global Firepower, in 2023, Israel ranked 18th in military strength worldwide, 1 place above Vietnam, which ranked 19th on this list. Unlike many countries, Israel considers its reserve forces the mainstay of the military. Therefore, the active duty regular forces serve as the core for training reservists during peacetime, preventing and delaying enemy attacks during wartime, and mobilizing and assembling reserve forces when required. Besides Jews, the units under the IDF also include other ethnic communities such as Druze, Circassians, Bedouin, Israeli Arabs, Haredim, etc. Even women and members of the LGBT community can join the military. Israel is one of the few countries that has overcome gender stereotypes to accept the large-scale use of women in the military. This is completely opposite to the reality in many. Since gaining independence in 1948, Jewish women have had a significant presence in the country's political landscape. This is also one of the few countries in the world that requires a mandatory 2-year military service for women. Especially the girls in the Israel Defense Forces, most of them are very beautiful. Many of them even attended military academies before enlisting, determined to fight on the battlefield. In 2002, the Israel Defense Forces planned to establish an all-female combat unit specifically for female soldiers who wanted to serve on the front lines but were concerned about being near male soldiers. But the topic of female soldiers remains a hot issue for religious leaders and those who oppose gender equality in the military. According to the Times, some critics have argued that this could pose potential threats to national security and that the military's operational effectiveness. The IDF's decision has also sparked much controversy on social media platforms. Besides supporters, there are also many opinions that turning women into soldiers is inappropriate. The military doctrine of Israel. Every nation has its own military doctrine. For example, Vietnam with its military art of using the small to defeat the large, the few to... According to Ho Chi Minh's thought, building the army is a comprehensive construction on all aspects, with politics as the comprehensive construction of both personnel and weaponry, with people as the foundation. In building personnel, moral construction. As for Israel, it can be summarized in 7 points. With 2-0, that is not to lose even a single battle. Along with that are 5 points, including the desire to avoid war through political means and a reliable deterrent posture. Preventing escalation, determining war outcomes quickly and decisively, combating terrorism. Additionally, in August 2015, the Israel Defense Forces announced that this doctrine outlines strategic responses and military operations to the main threats Israel faced. The doctrine categorizes these threats into main groups, including distant and neighboring countries, rogue states and those in the process of becoming rogue. Major extremist organizations such as Hezbollah and Hamas, terrorist organizations not linked to a specific state, like Islamic Jihad, Palestinian Islamic Movement, self-proclaimed Islamic State organization. In the context of a volatile regional security environment, Israel has determined to build and pursue a consistent policy. The State of Israel highly values building a strong national defense, reforming, developing, and modernizing the military through an active defense. Impressive defense achievements. For a long time, Israel's military modernization policy has always emphasized the importance of the defense industry. It is no surprise that the State of Israel now has one of the world's leading defense industries, capable of producing almost all types of weapons, including nuclear weapons. On this issue, Israel has chosen to follow a policy of deliberate ambiguity. Currently, Israel is considered one of the countries possessing nuclear. However, the country has never publicly acknowledged or denied this. Their defense industry development strategy is based on two, which are self-sufficient production and focus, while still maintaining the role of the domestic defense industry in upgrading and maintenance. The Israeli government also allocates many resources to, while establishing comprehensive intellectual centers at universities and government labs. Currently, Israel has about 150 companies, with approximately over 60,000 workers operating in the defense, including 3 key state-owned conglomerates: Israel Aerospace Industries, Israel Military Industries, and Rafael Advanced Defense Systems. In addition, there are privately owned companies such as LV Systems and Penny One Group, specializing in producing small electronics. Due to strong investment, Israel's defense industry has sufficient capacity for Development and manufacturing of a range of products for the military such as missiles, ammunition, microelectronic systems, tanks, armored vehicles. Moreover, Israel's defense industry also has good relationships with third parties, allowing the weapons and equipment developed by the country to utilize parts and components. For example, Israel's Merkava tank currently uses engines developed by Jet, so Israel does not have to spend too many resources and time developing equipment not within its strengths. Rafael Advanced Defense Systems has collaborated with the American company Raytheon to produce the Tonyer Interceptor missile. The development of the defense industry also helps Israel promote defense export, allowing their defense industry to compete with the world's major weapons. According to the Stockholm International Peace Research Institute report, from 2016 to 2020, Israel's weapons production ranked 8th in the world and accounted for 3% of global weapons export. Parallel to ensuring the needs of the military, exporting weapons and equipment is an important direction, thereby generating huge revenue. Profits from weapons exports are reinvested by Israel in research and development activities for new products. Top equipment in the arsenal. It is not only in recent years that Israel has focused on military modernization. This process has been underway for decades. To effectively respond to multiple wars and local crises that could occur at any time, ISAREN always focuses on purchasing. In early 2017, the ISAREN Defense Force announced a multi-year modernization, partly funded by the $38 billion in non-refundable aid that the United States committed to support from 2019 to 2028. This aid allows the ISAREN military to plan. Simultaneously, ISAREN also implemented a modernization plan named Gideon from 2016 to 2020. The plan focuses on 12 core capabilities such as cyberspace, intelligence, ground mobility, air superiority, air defense, electronic warfare, deep strike, border security, naval defense. As a special ally of the United States in the Middle East, ISAREN is provided with the most preferential conditions compared to other countries. In addition to supplies from the United States, ISAREN also purchases some weapons, such as the UK, France, Germany, and even collaborate. Thanks to this, the equipment of this country's military is very. Army equipment. According to Global Firepower, the ISAREN Army currently has two, including 320 active Merkava Mk4 tanks, considered the strongest tanks in the. ISAREN also possesses, rated as among the safest in the world, because the country often uses main battle. Additionally, ISAREN has about 650 self-propelled guns, 300 tow guns, 300 rocket launch systems, and Air Force equipment. The ISAREN Air Force is rated as the strongest, with 601 aircraft of various types, including two, mainly F-15s and F-16s from the United States. Notably, ISAREN is the first country outside and the first country in the world to use this aircraft in combat since 2018. ISAREN is also possessing a fifth generation, an F-35 variant specifically designated by the United States. Possessing modern weapons helps ISAREN maintain military superiority in the Balkans, especially when confronting Iran, the country equipped with Russia's S-300. ISAREN's missile defense system is also very strong, with multiple. Among them, the long-range aero defense system is rated as superior to Russia's S-300 and the US Patriot. Furthermore, ISAREN also has the capability to develop ballistic. Variants of the Jericho missile can carry nuclear warheads with a range of up to 11,500, covering the entire Middle East and many targets worldwide. This country also possesses a mobile Iron Dome defense system. Navy equipment. Not inferior to the ground and air forces, the ISAREN Navy is a formidable force in the region with about 60, including 5 advanced Dolphin-class submarines manufactured by Germany, upgraded by The ISAREN Navy is also operating 7. Although named corvettes, the SA-5 is equipped with a weapon system with cruising speed comparable to modern destroyers. The reason why ISAREN endures. As mentioned, ISAREN possesses an advanced missile defense system with Iron Dome. This is a mobile air defense system designed to intercept and destroy short-range missiles and artillery shells from distances of 4 to 70. The system was launched in March 2011, and on April 7, Iron Dome successfully intercepted an RPG missile launched from the Gaza Strip, marking the first. Regarding its operating principle, Iron Dome consists of multiple combat batteries, each with 3. First is the surveillance radar, detecting incoming rockets and mortar shells, then transmitting speed and trajectory parameters. Immediately, the control center will identify the target and command the interceptor missile system. If a target is detected, the Tonguer missile will be launched to intercept. Each launcher is The missile continuously updates target parameters provided by the control center. The warhead is activated when a missile. The system's mission is to intercept targets as far from populated areas as possible, while minimizing. The Iron Dome system is used by the IDF at short range, and the Tonguer missile is detected by. The Iron Dome was widely used by the IDF during the 2012 Israel-Gaza conflict, where it demonstrated very high effectiveness in intercepting enemy attacks, achieving a rate of 95% to 99%. During the 2011 Israel-Palestine crisis, from May 11 to May 21, Hamas fired over 4,300 rockets from the Gaza Strip into Israel. However, the Iron Dome system intercepted about 90% of the rockets aimed at densely populated. Nevertheless, this system was insufficient to prevent the massive attack packet that Hamas employed on October 17. Hamas launched thousands of projectiles toward Israel within just. This massive attack caught Israel's Iron Dome system off. Israel has previously disclosed that each full Iron Dome battery has between 60 and 80. Thus, Israel's total intercepting ammunition would not exceed. The systems can support each other, but this also prevents them from simultaneously dealing with an overwhelming attack. According to Israel's ambassador to the United States, Michael Herzog, Hamas launched over 4,000 rockets and deployed hundreds of. Thus, the number of rockets was more than 3 times the number of Tonguer missiles, overloading the Iron Dome and making it unable. The element of surprise was the main reason Israel suffered a setback against Hamas. Above is some information about Israel's military situation. Thank you for watching the video. Goodbye and see you in the next videos.